Hey everybody, this is Muffin with the Daily Biker Podcast. Just here to let y'all know the opinions and ideas expressed in this show are those of the hosts and their guests, not to be confused with their partners and sponsors. Now, let's get it on.
Hey guys, this is Sean from the Bikes and Beards YouTube channel, and you guys are listening to the Daily Biker Podcast. You're gonna love it.
Try to keep the coughing down to a minimum.
Yes, don't do that. We don't want to blow people's eardrums out.
All the people that listen on headphones. I'm sure you do that at the beginning of good Lord.
You can't English
What's
today.
the words?
At the beginning of every episode, anyway.
You mean when I go, hey everybody, welcome back to the Daily Biker Podcast.
Yeah, that one. That thing.
My name is Marcus, and I am your clueless leader. We're going to go on a learning journey today. I do have Daniel with me,
Hey there.
and I have Miss Muffin.
Hey y'all.
So, one of the things that we are going to be bringing you in 2023, because we're going to focus a little bit more on it. Obviously, it's still not going to be scripted, but we are going to have show notes. Now, when we bring you stories, obviously, that'll be completely wrote down. But there's so many times that we record stuff where after we're done recording, we go, oh, shoot, we forgot to talk about that.
Yeah. Even though we try our best, sometimes things fall underneath.
Yeah, and usually by the time we get back around to recording,
We've got a new topic or
we don't
something
talk
happened.
about it anymore.
Yeah.
So, but, do you know what this episode is,
It's a very important episode.
Heather?
Is it like 100?
This is episode 100. I personally want to say thank you to everybody that listens to us, everybody that shares us. We wouldn't be here without you. We'd have these conversations, but we wouldn't record it and put it out into the ethos for everybody.
Absolutely. When we hear from you guys and we see that people have been listening, it really helps us continue to do this and continue to want to do this as a recording podcast, and as opposed to us just talking.
Yeah. Well, talking about the listeners, so we have just a touch over 12,100 downloads in total.
Wow.
So
That's a lot of
That's
downloads.
a lot.
yeah. But I have a list here of every country. I didn't do the cities because that would take up this entire notebook, but I did the countries. Okay. Are you ready for this list?
I'm not ready.
We have been downloaded in the U.S., believe it or not. So, Canada, South Korea, Australia, Belgium, Denmark, Sweden, United Kingdom, Norway, Ireland, Russia, South Africa, Greece, Egypt, Malaysia, Tunisia, Peru, Thailand, Brazil, India, the Netherlands, Germany, New Zealand, France, Italy, Finland, Philippines, Chile, the Virgin Islands, Croatia, Iceland, Ghana, Paraguay, Indonesia, Kuwait, Georgia, Singapore, Spain, Japan, Poland, Iraq, Mexico, Switzerland, Austria, Romania, Portugal, China, Colombia, Vietnam, Israel, Bosnia, Hungary, and Guatemala.
So we have been downloaded in over almost 70 different countries.
I don't know. I mean, I can't count that high. I get past 10 and I'm lost.
I've run out of toes.
I haven't figured out how to use my fingers yet. So, yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
12,000 downloads, 70 plus countries all around the world. We're not just we are a locally based podcast here in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and seeing this, at a certain point, it's not just people that we know that may be traveling in foreign countries.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, some of these people, they might be residents. I spoke with someone once before that had a YouTube channel several years ago, and he was telling me that he had a big following in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that he's a really country guy, and he said one of the things that the people in Australia liked about it was that Southern American take on the motorcycling culture.
But I mean, something like that is interesting because it's different. Our opinion, our experiences are not going to be the same as what you get in Europe.
Our experiences are not going to be the same as what you get in any other country, but outside of that, what you get outside of the Southeast.
Yeah.
I mean, because riding for us, what we experience on the regular basis, you can't even say the Southeast. It literally encompasses a region that is like, the Southern Appalachian, that Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Kentucky, in the mountains and stuff, because that is the area that we tend to stay more in.
Yeah. Which makes
obviously,
sense.
we go to Florida and stuff like that, but the riding in Louisiana is not the same as we have where we're at.
Absolutely. Or the riding in the western part of the United States,
correct,
is going to be completely different.
Yeah, I mean they have factors that we don't have to think about. We're like, oh, we're going to go up a high peak at 5,000 feet, and I mean we got listeners in places that they're at 5,000 feet is the elevation of their city. I mean we've got listeners in Denver.
Yeah, yeah, that is true.
So, but I do want to say, I think we have our riding when we're not in the mountains is still similar to kind of what we have just a little bit north of us, getting into like Ohio and Illinois and maybe parts of Pennsylvania and stuff like that.
You have a lot of curvy country roads in those parts of the world, whether they're
have some curvy country roads, but then you also have straightaways. But
we have that here.
Yeah, we have some straightaways here. I think.
You mean drag strips?
I think they tend to get into a little bit more flat land than we do. But once we kind of get on the northwestern side of the state, we start to get into a little bit more flat land too. Not saying they don't have hills or ridges or anything like that. But,
and hills don't count.
But, I mean, you are literally hopping in the valley between mountains, between here and Mont Eagle. Once you go over Mont Eagle, it's just flat all the way to Nashville.
On the plateau.
Yes. So, but yeah, so our riding experience, I think here is different for somebody that does live in Florida that might listen to us, or somebody that lives, even say people that live in West Virginia, because where they're at, a lot more hills.
Yeah.
Where we don't have that. People that live on the East Coast, on the actual coast side of it, we don't have that open water area. And a lot of times when you get to the open water area like that, it's a lot more flat and stuff like that too. So,
I was about to say, are you going to ask if they ride on the open water?
No, I mean, some of them might. Well, there is that jet ski that's a motorcycle or something. But yeah, I did. Like I said, I wanted to give a shout out to all the countries. I do also want to give a shout out to 6 very important people. These are probably the people that have made probably some of the biggest impacts on the messages that they've sent us. We've had people talk to us and stuff like that, but sometimes it's, I don't want to make anybody feel bad, but sometimes it's not necessarily that coming up going, oh, hey, I listened to the podcast. And it's like, oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
This is kind of that next step, that above and beyond. Actually, at 7, because I have one that I didn't list on here, and we'll start with that one. Sebastian.
Yeah.
Sebastian's had some changes in his motorcycling here recently, but he's still a rider and all this other stuff. And, he wanted to come and wanted to participate in things we were doing because he does listen to the podcast, though I'm pretty sure he uses it to help him go to sleep at night.
Hey, I mean, look, you use it however you want to. That still counts as a download. Travel to foreign countries and use it to go to sleep.
But, I want to give shouts out. I'm just using first name here to help protect the innocent. That way people don't come up to you and go, I heard you listen to that stupid podcast. So if you hear your name and you send us a message, I'm talking about you. So Robert, Jeremy, Ben, John, Chris, and Peter. I want to give a special shout out to Peter, though. Peter is our over the seas listener. He's the only listener overseas that has reached out to us.
Yeah, that's true.
He's like, I'm probably your first one. You're the only one, Peter. So do want to give a shout out to that. But, 2023 is going to be a good year. One of the things that we want in 2023 is we want to hear more from y'all. You know, if there's a story that you know of about motorcycling history, or there's someone notable in the history of motorcycles, send us that so we know. I mean, even if we don't know the person, you know, we can do the research. We can find out the information and bring that story to the rest of the world, because there are people that we might not think of.
Correct.
You know, there's lots of names and lots of stories that I know about. But, you know, there might be someone else in those stories that you don't think of or anything like that.
And stories generally are regional as well, too. We might know certain people here more so than...
Well, yes, but, you know, there's people, influential people throughout history that some people might not realize, might not understand who they are, those types of things that we can bring those stories. Like, there might be a lot of people that don't know who Sugar Bear is.
Yeah.
So just bringing out a small story of Sugar Bear and who he was and what he did for the motorcycling community at the time.
Yep.
So, you know, it'll be really interesting, and it'll be really fun, you know. And if you have a story, if you got a fantastic story about yourself and one of your motorcycling experiences, write it down, send it out to us. If you're old fashioned, want to do it on pen and paper, look up White Lightning Harley Davidson in Chattanooga. You can mail it. You can address it to the Daily Biker Podcast and mail it to the dealership. I'll get it. I work there, so it'll come straight to me. If you're on social media, you can send us messages on Facebook at the Daily Biker Podcast. You can send us messages on Instagram at the Daily Biker Podcast, or you can email it to us at the Daily Biker Podcast at gmail.com. Like I said, we want to hear from people.
We want to hear from
I know there's people with great stories.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you've heard stories not on the podcast, stories that me and Lewis, when we've been out riding and things have happened and we've went places.
Absolutely. Well, and that's, you know, one of the interesting parts of motorcycling. You go to unique places, you experience unique things, different types of riding, and we want to hear about it. We want to know what these stories are. If you have something that, even if you don't think it's that special because it's something you've done, we might. You know, it's different perspectives.
The other thing
opinions.
I would like to hear too, though, is people's experiences on unique motorcycles. Mm-hmm. You know, Ben, you haven't told us how it is riding that Ducati yet.
Yeah.
Send us a message and let us know what it's like riding the Ducati. I want to know, because it's a modern bike.
Yeah.
It's a modern retro though. So I want to know what people's take is on that. Like, what is it like going to a gas station on something like that? How do you get bombarded? Because I know for me, which I'm going to get to spend a little bit more time with it when the weather warms back up, but I have a friend that has a 2003 Ultra Classic 100th anniversary Harley, and he's got the matching sidecar that goes with it. And the bike had about 70,000 miles on it before the sidecar was ever put on it. But I'm going to go borrow that thing for about a week when it warms up, and I'm going to ride it around and get a daily feel for what it's like to ride with a sidecar. Muffin's going to ride around in it some and get those experiences, because, you know, I'm not saying I want to rush out and get a sidecar, but how often do you get that opportunity?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we want to hear. Do you have a unique motorcycle? Tell us about it.
Not just that. Do you have some time with? Does a buddy of yours have a Ural and he let you borrow it and you went in the woods with it?
Yeah, exactly.
What happened? What's that experience? You know, I know guys that have taken trips from here to Africa, here to Alaska.
Did they?
Yeah, from here to Alaska on motorcycles. There's thousands of people that do that trip every year.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. You know, have you been overseas and rented motorcycles?
Or
what's your experience with that?
Did you bring your own bike?
Yeah.
What was the experience with that?
We want to know those stories. We want to share those stories. This is a Chattanooga-based motorcycle podcast, but we want to make it so much bigger. We want to get everybody involved One of the things that we're going to work on in 2023, and it's just a situation of where, honestly, we haven't had the time to figure out what needs to be done, but we are going to work on the capabilities of being able to video conference / record at the same time, because I've got people, fairly large people, that have said, you have this, call me anytime, I'll do the podcast with you. I mean, people that are major influencers, people that are major key players in the aftermarket community. I'm working on getting some major key players with some manufacturers, not just Harley Davidson, but other manufacturers too. So, yeah. But some of the other things too in 2023 that we want to talk about, that we're going to be talking about. January 18th.
What is January 18th, Marcus?
That is a Wednesday.
That is a Wednesday. What is happening on that special Wednesday?
Harley Davidson's 2023 model launch. Now, that being said, it could be a change to a current motorcycle. It might not be a new motorcycle, but for the most part, it's new stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they do, because they'll do on January 2nd, Harley Davidson will have a release. That's the colors that are available and stuff like that. And sometimes there's little tweaks, like when they went from the specials from being chrome with short bags to blacked out with stretched bags. That wasn't a, hey, here's a new model. That was just kind of slid under the radar with, here's your colors.
Yeah.
So there are things like that just kind of don't go really noticed unless people are paying attention to what's going on. So I'll be really interested to see what they come out with. The biggest thing is I want to see more RevMax motorcycles.
And I'm hoping that is what the big announcement is. It's maybe new models that come out.
I think it'll be beyond RevMax, though.
Yeah. Well, it would
be
have to
interesting, because the thing is this video could be like, we're going to discontinue this bike.
Kill the Pan America.
Well, no. I think it was a couple years ago in the video, they were like, no more deluxe.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of people that went, what? But, the deluxe has only been a staple since like 2005. It'd be a different story if they went, no more heritage.
Yeah.
Now you're discontinuing a style. I'm not talking about a frame or anything like that. I'm talking about a style of particular motorcycle. That is essentially a soft tail bagger, outside of what we've gotten in this past year.
Yeah.
That was the only soft tail bagger for years.
That is true. And I think it'd be interesting. I'm curious to see what Harley decides to do, because they are at a pivotal point. They've kind of been rebranding with the RevMax, the Pan America, the new Sportster S.
Yep.
Trying to, as much as people like to say that Harley's stuck in the past, they're doing something. So I'm curious to see.
And that being said, there's a lot of people that have their opinions, and I'm never going to tell anybody that their opinion is wrong.
Unless it is.
What I will tell somebody is that their opinion might solely be formulated based on just that, their opinion, on a very small scope, a very small view of what is happening.
Yeah.
Okay. There are people that sit there, and I'm not going to spend forever going down this road, but cried when the FXR got discontinued, that never bought it. People that cried when the Dyna got discontinued, that never bought it. Now I'm hearing people cry about the Sportster being discontinued, or the XL Sportster being discontinued.
That would never buy it.
Never bought it. And it's like, I like the XL Sportster. I think it's a great bike. It makes an awesome off-road machine. You make some dope little rigid frame bobbers out of them. I think it's super cool. They've been making the bike, though, for 65 years.
Yeah.
There comes a point in time where you go, I have to do something different. And on an article about another bike we're going to mention in a second, I sent it to Daniel, I sent it to you. And there was several people complaining about this, what Harley was doing. But there was a guy on there that made a great point. he said he was like 71 years old.
Yeah, something like that.
And, he's a Harley guy through and through. And he doesn't like to see the nostalgia and stuff like that of Harley Davidson go away. But Harley Davidson needs to quit thinking about that customer. They're not going to abandon those customers, because I do like very traditional Harley Davidson motorcycles. Daniel likes very vintage Harley Davidson motorcycles.
Yeah.
But, if Daniel was like, oh, the Panhead was the best Harley ever made, it's like, dude, they've made some awesome motorcycles since then.
Yeah.
So this guy had said, they have to do something for the future, because it's not just the future rider. It's, you're dealing with stuff. I mean, how many different U.S. cities are trying to ban internal combustion engines right now?
Unfortunately, a lot of them.
So some of the cities, the way that they're doing stuff is not necessarily going to be a direct out ban. It'll be an emissions thing.
Yep.
To where it'll only be smaller CC vehicles. I wouldn't be surprised. I've never seen a single thing on this, but I've said this for years. I wouldn't be surprised to see America put in CC regulations for riding, for time in riding. Like how you have like in Europe.
Yeah.
When you start riding, you have limitations.
Yeah, licensing setups.
So,
which, I mean, we've talked about that before as well. That wouldn't be a bad thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have states like Georgia that makes you get a permit. I'm sure there's lots of other states that make you do a motorcycle permit. But in Tennessee,
Sign your name.
I'm not saying...
Go sign your name and buy this brand new Hayabusa.
I took advantage of it. But literally, yeah, you could have never rode a motorcycle a day in your life, get a Hayabusa, drive straight down to the DMV, and if you can hold the bike up and ride around in a circle for the most part,
pretty much,
you have your license. That can be very dangerous.
Just slightly.
So, but even as easy as it is to get a license and motorcycle license in Tennessee, there's still a lot of people riding without a motorcycle license in Tennessee.
That still baffles me.
Yes. So, so that article that I sent Daniel, what is the name of that company? I just know it as QJ.
Yeah, let's just...
So
Qzhang or something like that.
QJ Motors. I know when people hear something out of China, they're like, oh, it's cheap. Okay.
Maybe.
Tata.
Yeah.
Would anybody buy a motorcycle out of India?
A lot of people do. Royal Enfields.
Would you buy a car out of India?
I think Tata owns Volvo now. No.
Yes.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do own Volvo.
I think they also own Jaguar, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you might be right.
Because I think Volvo bought Jag.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're talking...
That's an Indian manufacturer or an Indian company.
So, I don't have any problem with stuff made in China. Do I think there's some cheap stuff made in China? Yeah. But I think some of their stuff appears to be cheap.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people that they've been able to harness the industrial complex, we'll call it.
Well, and this is something that we've discussed before. You look 15 years ago, you wouldn't have bought a Hyundai. You didn't want one. But now you look at them, they're fantastic looking cars. So, and it's just...
50 years ago?
Yeah.
You wouldn't buy a Honda.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. But now... look at it now.
And the way Honda translated that was they put a cheap scooter into the market that was fantastic.
Yep.
So the only thing I'm saying about these companies that we may be seeing come forth in the next coming years, give it a chance.
Yep.
Before you talk smack about it, because I'm going to.
Oh yeah.
And trust me, if it's dog shit, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, and I've ridden CF Moto bikes, which are essentially the same thing. And
for the European listeners, QJ makes Spinelli.
Yep,
probably one of the most popular, smaller CC platform motorcycles in Europe.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's QJ or CF Moto. One of them. I think it might actually be QJ and KTM. They're now distributing together.
Yeah, QJ is currently making the engines for the smaller displacement KTMs.
Yeah.
Well, I say smaller displacement. I think they're getting larger. I think they're stepping up into like the 600s.
Yeah. Which, there you go. I mean, KTMs are very popular here in the United States, and they're popular worldwide.
Yeah.
A lot of them have Chinese motors.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing about it is you get into something and it's like, oh, you got a possibility of, oh, you're going to drop it and the side cover is going to crack on the engine. That's cool. It's built cheap, which means the replacement part is also cheap.
Yeah. Well, and that's a conversation about the Chinese bikes. There's a dealership in Chattanooga that does sell them. And I asked him one day, I said, hey, you know, they're new to the market. Have you had any major issues with them? No major issues. And how has it been getting parts for them? At least CF Moto has a supplier in the United States, in California, I believe.
Well, put it
that
this way.
has the parts.
Anybody that ever pays attention to motocross, almost every single one of those motocross bikes are built in like Indonesia and Vietnam and Korea and those types of places. I mean, they're not. Your Honda ATV might be built in South Carolina, but your CRF 450R is not.
So the new Harley Davidson bikes, they are coming out with two sizes, though.
So the first question is, will we see it in the United States? Possibly. I have heard that the bike will be the potential replacement for the Harley Davidson Riding Academy motorcycles.
Which would make sense.
Yes, because most of them are using streets right now.
Mm-hmm.
No more streets.
Yeah.
Before the streets, they were using the Buell Blast, and that went away, so they replaced it with the streets. So an HD 350 and an HD 500, which QJ and Benelli both have bikes that are 350s and 500s. This is going to be the same chassis and everything. It's basically Harley Davidson getting another company to build a product for them.
Pretty much.
And
there's nothing
like
wrong
I said,
with that.
I want to point out there's a lot of companies that do that stuff.
Yeah. And you know, a bike like this would be smaller displacement. You know, especially getting rid of the Sportster, which everybody always considers the smallest Harley.
Yeah.
All right.
But these will be a European and Asian market motorcycle.
Correct.
Like, we know that for a fact.
Yeah. Was the 350 a parallel twin as well, or was it a single?
Oh.
I can't remember now.
That I don't know.
I know the 500's a parallel twin.
That I don't know. It could be a single, it could be a parallel twin, but either way.
Either way, yeah. So, economical motorcycles for daily riding.
Yeah.
Around the city, around town.
Well, and let's be honest about it. I mean, I bought a $25,000 motorcycle 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Not everybody can buy a $25,000 motorcycle. Not everybody wants to buy a $25,000 motorcycle. Harley Davidson needs stuff in category price points that are effective.
That's competitive.
Yes.
With other manufacturers. Mm-hmm. And I think if this does come to the United States, it will be competitive.
Well, I think if it comes to the States, it'll come as Riding Academy motorcycles.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll be able to walk into dealerships and buy them. Now, that being said, there are Riding Academy Buells that are now on the street.
Yep.
There are Riding Academy Streets that are now on the street. So there could be these QJ built Harleys that will end up on the street.
Which I'd be curious. I'm curious to actually see them. You know, they have the renderings, they have all that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, actually get some firsthand riding. You know, or people that have firsthand riding experience with.
Yeah,
these when
I
they
would
come
love
out.
to put my hands on one and just nitpick it, because I'm going to tell you now. Muffin can definitely tell you. Daniel's seen it a little bit. Muffin has seen it like to the point where it drives her insane sometimes, where I will literally just nitpick a motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be sitting there staring at the engine for 15 minutes and people are like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm looking at how it's casted or something of that nature. I mean, I will nitpick.
Well, and it'll be interesting to see.
So
what on our list, so these are the
Yep.
bikes that we're looking forward to in 2023.
Yeah, obviously, I'm sure there's going to be more motorcycles on this list. There's possibly some that are out there right now that we didn't immediately think of off the top of our head, but these are the ones that we've been talking about.
Correct.
So, the new Suzuki GSX-S8.
8S.
Whatever.
So that is the
800cc
800cc parallel twin that Suzuki is putting out in almost parallel with the SV650. Yeah.
I wonder if it will be more like sport oriented. Like it'll have like the full plastics.
The renderings that I've seen are basically a parallel twin SV650. Very, very similar. So I think there's
maybe it'll end up being an SV650 replacement. They just have a bunch of SVs left over.
I think that's probably what's happening right now because they haven't said they're canceling the SV650 at this time, but this is also going to come along next to it, and they're going to make about the same power.
Yeah,
you don't want to.
Well, they have for years had GSX Fs.
Yeah.
So, because a Katana was a GSX size F.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then they did like an 1100.
Yeah.
The GSX 1100.
Yeah.
So, maybe this is going to be that.
Which is
market.
A possibility. It's to be seen. It obviously hasn't come out yet. They're not on showroom floors.
Yeah.
See what it does to Suzuki's lineup.
I think it's going to come out as a competitor for the R7/MT-07, which are essentially the same motorcycle. One's full fairing, one's not. That's a very dumbed down description for anybody that's like, no, they're different. I know they're different, but it's the same engine.
Yep, it's essentially the same bike.
So, yeah, same engine, same chassis. Subframes might be a little bit different. Suspension might be a little bit different.
Yeah.
Those types of things. But I think this is going to be that market.
And you're probably right, but we to be decided once it comes out and we see what they do with it. Suzuki is also bringing out another motorcycle.
Yep, the V-Strom 800DE.
Which is going to have the same engine that's in the 8S.
Yes, now the DE, Desert Express, I don't know what DE stands for, but the DE is the off-road variant of a V-Strom. So they have never built a V-Strom that was off-road oriented. Now, to specify what I mean by that, they've built V-Stroms that can go off-road, okay? But you don't look at a V-Strom and look at a KLR and go, the V-Strom will do everything that KLR would do. No, it won't. No, it won't. It was an adventure bike styling.
For a street bike.
For a street. The V-Strom 800DE is designed to be an off-road adventure bike.
A KLR competitor, essentially.
Well, I moved past KLR. I'm gonna put it in the like the F800 or F850.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, something smaller than a full size flagship model.
Correct.
GS 1100s, the Pan America, stuff like that.
Correct.
But
I think they're building it though to compete with, like you said, Aprilia's new ADV bike.
Yep.
Which I think it's called Touareg. I don't know. I keep seeing it, and I'm like, that's a Volkswagen.
Because that one's a 660, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, but knowing Aprilia, it's going to be a freaking
I think it was somewhere
660.
around like 100 horsepower or something like that.
But also, they're going to be competing with the Honda Transalp too. So there's a lot of new ADVs that are coming out.
Yep.
Going back to Harley, I'm hoping we see a new ADV as well. But, Honda's coming out with the Transalp, which is a 750 parallel twin.
Yep.
A new Transalp.
Yes.
Clarify, Honda has made Transalps for years. We haven't had them in the States for several years, but they have had them in, I'll call it European spec countries.
I think that's a fair.
Because Canada gets European spec motorcycles. We
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah. But
It's called bowing down to the crown.
the Transalp's going to have a 750cc parallel twin.
Yep.
And they're also going to be using that same engine
Yep.
in the new CB750/Hornet.
Yes.
So
Yeah, are they going to call it a Hornet? Did we figure that out?
that's what it says on
Okay.
all their press releases.
So they're essentially bringing back the 599, 919.
apparently.
So,
Or bringing back the nomenclature at least. Maybe not the bike itself.
yeah, obviously it'll be a completely different motorcycle, but they're bringing back that class of motorcycle.
Correct.
Which they haven't had really that class of bike for a while.
Yeah, because Honda...
They got really close. I think if they had taken the CBR 650,
Yeah.
made it naked
Oh,
with a single round headlight on the front,
that'd be a great bike.
that would have been your new Hornet.
Yeah, oh yeah, it would be. Because they stopped making the CB750s in, I want to say, like 2004, 2005, something like that.
Well, they did make a CB 1000R for a while.
Yes, they did.
So that was a really interesting motorcycle. I really liked those. I had a acquaintance that had one. I rode his some. It was definitely very interesting, but for that style of motorcycle, it was almost too aggressive
Yeah,
feeling.
I'd believe that.
Like the 919 and the 599 felt a little tamer.
Mm-hmm.
They felt more manageable. Not saying they weren't powerful,
Yeah.
because they were. I mean, you could have a blast on it. But it and the MT-07 feels the similar as those do.
Yeah.
It's when you sit on the bike, you don't feel like it's pushing you forward over the handlebars and those.
It's a
types of
little
things.
bit more relaxed
Right,
seating
where
position.
the CB1000R did. It was a very aggressive riding position.
Honda's also making some changes to the Rebel. Sorry.
Yeah, they're going to come out. I don't know if they're going to call it the CL, but we'll call it the CL because that's essentially what it is.
Mm-hmm.
For anybody that doesn't understand what a Honda CL is, just go in and type in any variation of small CC numbers. Type Honda CL 350, 450, 125, 175, 250, whatever. They made them for years and years and years, but they're making essentially a CL 500 on a new Rebel.
Yes.
Now, the question is it truly going to be like a CL, or is it just going to be a Rebel with high pipes?
And that's... I'll be curious to see what they
Because
actually
a
end up...
CL was like a...
Like a scrambler style.
yeah, it was a scrambler style motorcycle. It was a street bike
Yeah.
that if you needed to hit a dirt road, you could.
Yeah. Throw some knobby. You could put knobbies on there. They came... a lot
Most
of them
everybody
came-
had like 50/50s on them.
Yeah. But that was actually not the one that I was thinking of. And I think you'll find this entertaining.
Are you talking about...
The 1100.
Yeah.
The touring
I don't know.
1100.
But here's the thing. There's so many photos out.
Yeah.
I've seen other photos that I've been like, that looks more like what Honda would build. The photo that keeps going around legitimately has like Harley Davidson Road Glide fairing and saddlebags on a Rebel 1100.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. It looks like someone just took some stuff out of a parts bin and stuck them on there.
Yeah. Well, the thing about that is, you know what's going to happen if they come out exactly with that.
People are going to start swapping Harley parts on.
No, Indian's going to start crying, saying, "Oh, they copied our motorcycle." Yeah, Indian, that's what they did. They copied your motorcycle. That was a copy.
Yes.
So that means it would be a copy of a copy. Which means it would be even worse.
Well, you know that's how it goes. It's once you've copied you
When
do
you
that.
copy a copy,
The quality starts to degrade.
okay. Anybody that watches Star Wars understands that. You can't keep copying a copy. You start losing the ability.
They're gonna keep doing it though. But I'm trying to think. There was another BMW is trying to make some changes to the R18 as well.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to work. They need to stick to the GSs and the S1000s.
Yeah. I think if they make, I give the R18 2 more years.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a long time model run, because when you can go to a BMW motorcycle dealership and get the K1600.
Well, they've tried it too many times in the past, trying to make like a quote unquote cruiser.
Yeah, it just doesn't.
And it doesn't work. And when I say they've tried it too many times in the past, they've tried it multiple times. Probably the biggest one was the James Bond, Pierce Brosnan era.
Gosh, that was a 650, wasn't it, or an 800, something like that?
But saying that, what they could have done, and what I think BMW should have done, and it had been super dope, and it could have better led up for them to be able to do like the R18, was if they had taken, say, the 1200, or even bring back the 1100 air-cooled GS motor.
Put that in there.
Stuffed it in that Softail style frame. Maybe even put a spring seat on it. Make a very,
classic
40s, 50s retrograde boxer engine BMW that would remind everybody of the old R9Ts.
Yeah, and I think that would have worked for them.
I think it would have sold.
Oh yeah,
people would have bought it. People would have been like, "Oh, dude, I had a uncle that had one of these old BMWs back in the day," and I meet guys now that have those old 40s and 50s BMWs, and they're on the road. They still ride them. They get out and they enjoy them. I think they could have done that and been at like a $9,000 to $12,000 price range, and it would have sold. They could have done that and had people wanting BMW cruisers.
Yeah.
Then come out with bigger motorcycles.
Instead of trying to come out immediately competing with Harley. Because that's what they did, and it didn't.
Yeah,
it didn't work.
When you don't play the long game in the motorcycle or the car industry, it's going to fail you.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well, that's kind of the thing. It's either going to go one way or the other. Either it's going to be a huge hit because it's unique, they've never done it before, or it's going to be like the R18 and just...
I think it had a pop.
Yeah.
But I think that pop fizzled fast.
Yeah.
I mean, I have spoke to dealers that sell those motorcycles that are like, I'll ride a GS.
Yeah. And I don't blame them.
I mean, motorcycle magazines and media companies have compared it and been like, yeah, it's not what you want it to be. It's not what we hoped it would be.
Yeah.
BMW should have bought out Ural and just started slapping BMW badges on Urals.
Which they could essentially do.
Think about it, though.
Yeah. That would be badass.
That would be cool.
I would do that.
That would be cool.
Yep.
People would buy it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because people buy Urals.
Yeah.
Where they get them from, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know where the closest Ural dealership is.
Probably one in Atlanta.
I remember back, like, I think it was high school, maybe college, Ural, like, had first came out. This was, like, the early to mid-2000s. And Ural was kind of first, like, I don't know if that's when it first came out, but that's when first started seeing advertisements for it.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, you would literally, I'd see the ad in the back of a magazine for like $6,900, and you had to order it.
Yeah. It was like going through an old Sears catalog.
Yeah, literally, you ordered the motorcycle, and they probably had quote-unquote dealers that it would get delivered to that would do the prep work or whatever, and then charge you, you'd pay your dock fee and stuff like that. But you ordered the motorcycle out of a magazine.
Now you go on the website, and they're $20-something thousand.
And they don't even have machine gun turrets built on.
I know, it's such a shame. Well, Marcus, are there any other bikes that you can think of? Now, obviously, this is not an all-encompassing list. There are plenty of bikes that are going to be coming out for 2023 that...
Yeah, well, we'll know more as the year goes on.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this because I ride a Harley or because I work for Harley. Harley kind of sets a standard, though, when it comes to motorcycles in America on when people do things and when people announce things.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling sometime in January as a whole, we'll know a lot more about what's coming out in 2023
Yep.
along the whole spectrum of every brand stateside.
And I would say that's something too. A lot of Japanese brands, don't really do the big marketing pushes like Harley does. They don't have a big event other than the shows.
But I'm going to tell you now, Honda has had a commercial. They've slightly altered it. I saw it today. They slightly altered it a little bit. And I think they're doing a very brilliant job of this advertising campaign. They're advertising their cars
with the motorcycles,
with their power sports division.
Mm-hmm.
So the most recent commercial that I've seen, they're advertising the new Pilot and Ridgeline.
Yeah.
And they're kind of going down the road right next to each other, almost like they're racing on a 2-lane highway.
And you see that XR 650 on the side.
In the background, in the dirt, at one time a dirt bike goes by.
Yeah.
And then a Honda Talon goes by. And like they're showing this stuff. They're showing their power sports in the background.
Yeah.
It's not like, look at the power sport. It's
the Honda Civic morphs into a Goldwing.
It's their the Honda Civic morphs into something better.
Yeah, it's growing.
Yeah,
it's got a bigger engine.
Bigger. So, yeah, I think Honda's doing a very good job of that.
Yeah.
Harley, I think, is trying to find a new way to advertise than just a commercial on TV.
Yeah.
I know that kind of sounds crazy because a lot of people are like, it's probably the most efficient way. Is it?
I mean, not in 2023 now.
Yeah. How many people don't have cable? If they're only showing that commercial on cable.
Yeah. I don't. Unless they're showing it on a streaming service.
Well, and they might be, but even still, the odds of you coming across that commercial.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be geared centric, I guarantee you, for whatever it is you're streaming.
True. You're correct.
Like, if you're streaming Motor Trend, you're probably going to have a better chance of coming across that Honda commercial than you would be if you're streaming Disney Plus.
Exactly. I agree.
So, but Harley, like I said, is I feel this is not anything I've seen. I want to say again, Harley does not give us any information. People screwed that a couple years ago, and now Harley's like, you'll find out when the public finds out. It's like, I appreciate that.
Cool.
Good to know. Good thing I can't sell anybody on a motorcycle in advance. But Harley, if you go back in history and look at how they've advertised in the past, they have created advertisement campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't just mean, oh, they made a commercial. No. Like bike weeks, motorcycle rallies and events was not created by an individual. That was created by the motor company.
Yeah. And that's probably one of the biggest advertising you can get for a company.
That's what I'm saying, though. That was a type of advertising that no one had thought about. They created a whole new avenue of being able to do this. But you know where I do see a lot of Harley Davidson ads?
At the dealership?
You do see that.
Where?
When I'm on social media. Now, obviously, I follow that stuff. But every once in a while, I'll see an ad pop up for Suzuki or Aprilia. I've probably seen more Aprilia ads in the past couple weeks than I have in a long time. But I can't click on MCM's website without a Harley ad popping up or something like that.
Yeah. So
that's very much people that they're looking for that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, that makes sense. And I now get Harley ads because I sit near you. It's like a disease.
Yes. So there is one more bike that we're looking forward to. You kind of, I had to cut you off because you almost started talking about it. So Kawasaki's going to build a hybrid?
Kawasaki, and this actually goes back to something that we were mentioning earlier. A lot of cities are now trying to ban ICE engines in quest to reduce emissions and pollution and all that. So Kawasaki is developing, there's no name for it. It just, every time I've looked it up, it says Kawasaki Hybrid. So it's going to be, I want to say it's either a parallel twin or a 4-cylinder, but they haven't put out many details on it. It's very limited, but it's also going to have a battery-powered motor
Yeah.
in it. So at low speeds, it'll use just the battery power and obviously have regen so it can charge itself back up. You get extra range. And
Yeah.
at high speeds, when you're using the throttle, the ICE engine will kick on and go. Kind of like what a Prius does.
You know, it's kind of funny talking about that, thinking about that, because there might be some people that are going, I don't know. If you pay attention to bicycles at all, 5 years ago, the notion of an electric bicycle was kind of like, why would you buy an electric bicycle?
Yeah.
Zero kind of started the big push with electric motorcycles. Then Livewire stepped in.
Mm-hmm.
And people saw them, fell in love with them, wanted them, didn't want to pay for them.
Yeah.
And now there's 1.5 million electric bicycle companies that are knocking it out of the park every single day.
Mm-hmm.
They're selling every one that they can build.
Yep. And you're looking at something that they're not cheap. They're still a couple grand.
But that brings in an introduction point.
Mm-hmm.
I think what Harley Davidson and Zero, and I'm sure there's other companies out there, what they did was playing that long game. They said, we're going to dump a bunch of money into something that's literally just going to be an advertisement.
Yep.
Because Zero's, they came out with a couple like fully electric, super awesome motorcycles. And then they took a step back and started building electric dirt bikes.
Yep. And I think
Harley Davidson built a Livewire. And now they've taken a step back.
Yeah.
And they build bicycles. They still build a Livewire. Mm-hmm. But they have the Serial One bicycle company. But not only that, they own the battery company.
Yeah, and I think that's two examples of where they built the flagship first to get people looking, and then
they created conversation.
Yeah,
They used it as a marketing campaign. Now, that being said, Zero did very good with their electric dirt bikes. It's built them back up to the point where they build full-on competition-level race bikes that are battery-powered, and they're doing Zero has a push right now where they're working on getting a essentially an electric MotoGP series.
Yeah.
Because they won't let them compete. And for anybody that thinks that sounds crazy, look at Formula E.
Yeah. And I think it'll be exciting to see where that electric technology goes into motorcycling.
There's a lot of people, I think, they get scared of the electric motorcycles, not because the technology scares them. It's because they think tomorrow they're not going to have their gas-fired engine.
Yeah, and then that's not the case.
Anybody that's alive right now listening to this, even if you're 10 years old,
you're going to have
you will still have gas-powered motorcycles in your lifetime.
Yeah.
They won't be banned. They might not be new production.
They'll still exist.
They'll still exist, and they won't be banned. And I don't mean like it'll be a 30 or 40-year-old motorcycle. It will literally be 100 years before you
Completely.
don't have...
Yeah.
You'll have to have special licensing like you do with weaponry. You have to have special licensing to possess an internal combustion motorcycle.
You'll have to be a classic collector.
Vehicle, period.
Yeah.
Car, truck, motorcycle, anything. It'll be 100 years before that happens.
Oh, yeah.
If not longer.
Yeah. The infrastructure for it doesn't exist at this time.
Well, not only does the infrastructure not exist, they want to lower emissions. You're going to have what's that saying about the necessity? Necessity is the mother of invention.
Yes.
So you're going to have these companies that are all of a sudden going, hey, look at this. I now know how to make a 1,000cc motorcycle that gets 120 miles to the gallon and puts out the same emissions a 150 does.
All right, Volkswagen.
It's going to be like, oh, how'd you do that? Oh, we've had that technology for years.
Yep.
And
as governing bodies put in these future legislations, say that it's coming down the road, and then manufacturers can adjust accordingly. They can start preparing. They start putting the money into R&D.
You know what I think you'll see long before you see that, though?
What?
Not like crazy. You will see low emissions diesel motorcycles popping up on the market.
I think that would be cool.
So they will find a way to create a essentially it's the same as your gas engine, but it's diesel powered. It's not. It's not the diesel engine that you think of. It's not even the same diesel engine that is in a lot of cars that are on the market right now. It will literally be more like a gas engine that just runs on diesel.
Yeah.
And it'll be something that gets incredible gas mileage and has low emissions.
Which, I mean, motorcycles already get very good gas mileage compared to most vehicles.
There's some out there that are not small bikes that are getting close to 100.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, even that KTM we have in the garage here, it's what, 75 miles a gallon.
Yeah, it's like just a touch over 3 gallons on the gas tank, and I think you can get, if you're just cruising around, I think you can get like 160 or 170 miles on that tank.
Exactly, which is insane.
Yeah, yeah. So, but you know, in 2023, some of the things that we're looking forward to. Going backwards of how I have this noted down. Hopefully, by the end of this year, Muffin will be on the road and have her motorcycle license.
Yes, that is the goal.
I had a conversation with her recently about her skittishness and told her that she just needs to kind of get over that and do it.
Just got to do it. Just got to hop on and go.
Yeah.
Because if she continues to let that skittishness get to her, she will never achieve her goal of being out riding on her own.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Daniel.
Speaking of the KTM, doing a track day.
Nice.
So we've talked about it, and I know I've mentioned it multiple times on the podcast. I've been wanting to do one, and I have the opportunity to do one in February. So I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna see how I like it. You know, we're bringing down quite a few bikes, but I'm also gonna bring the KTM.
Yeah.
So we're gonna
and
see.
You're going with a group of people that are taking CF motos.
Yes, they're taking CF motos down there as well.
So where is that going to be at?
In Alabama.
At Barber?
Not at Barber.
Little Talladega.
Little Talladega. That's what.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be really
looking forward to it. You know, it's a different type of riding than I've ever done.
Well, I'll be interested to see if you come back and you want.
If I want to keep doing it,
if you want a track bike or if you want an ADV.
And that's kind of like I said, I've talked about it numerous times, wanting to do it, and this will kind of be a pivotal point. I can decide if this is something I truly want to pursue, or no, it's not for me. And then,
if it's something you want to pursue, I'll tell you something. My opinion of what you need to do.
Okay.
And you're not going to like it.
I'm not selling any bikes.
It doesn't involve you selling a single motorcycle.
Okay.
It also doesn't involve you adding any motorcycles to your collection.
I already don't like where this is going. The Valkyrie is not a track bike.
It involves you turning one into a track bike.
No, I just buy one.
Do you know what I'm talking about, though?
Yeah. You'd be talking about modifying the ZRX to be a track bike.
Yeah.
And I don't think I could do that. I don't think my heart would allow me to modify that bike.
Dude, you're going to have to get over that. That bike is not a all original pristine show
I know
motorcycle.
it's not. I know it's not.
Doesn't even have paint on half the gas tank.
No, it's got paint. The decal came off.
Whatever it is.
Nope.
That would be a great track bike.
And you know
It'd
what?
be a heavy track bike, but it'd be a great track bike.
But that's the thing. There are better bikes to do. Instead of me trying to modify an old bike to do track days, I'd rather buy
You know what actually would be a really good track bike? A 2022 SV650.
It would. It absolutely would
That'd be a fantastic track
Yes,
bike.
it would be.
Yeah.
Stop it. I know you're only saying that because you know where one is.
I do know where one is. That's already skint up a little bit, so in case you drop it, it's not that big of a deal. One of the big things I'm looking forward to, partially because I get to participate, partially because hopefully at some point in time this year, I've got a lot of things that I want to do. White Lightning is getting more into the ADV stuff. And I don't necessarily mean the ADV market because we're already in the ADV market. But we're doing some incredible things. We've got some awesome stuff we're going to be doing this year with our Dirt Day stuff that we do where people get to go out and ride with Sean, the general manager. We're partnering again with March Moto Madness that happens at the end of March in Telco Plains, Tennessee. And then we're actually partnering with the motor company itself to bring an ADV experience to the Loretta Lynn's Ranch for the Tennessee Motorcycle and Music Revival.
Oh, that'll be cool.
In May.
Nice.
That'll be really cool.
So we've got some big stuff that we're doing with the ADV stuff. It's super excited. Where we're at, we still have a lot of great places to be able to go ride those types of motorcycles and enjoy yourselves. So I'm really looking forward to those types of things, not only because it's fun, but because I'm not at the office when I get to do those things.
And you still get paid.
And I still get paid. So it's really fun. Some of the things that I am personally working on for anybody that lives local to us, semi-local, wants to drive over or whatever. For the past couple years at the dealership, I've been leading dealer rides where once a month we'll go somewhere. Sometimes it's a short trip, sometimes it's a longer trip. And for the most part, it was the same stuff both years. Might have been different times of the year or something like that. I've got some new stuff that I'm going to be bringing in 2023. If you want to know more about that, just follow White Lightning Harley Davidson on Facebook and Instagram, and you will get notified about when we're set up for dealer rides and stuff like that. Those of you that are listening to this that are going, I'm already interested, I live close, Jeremy, people like you, it's going to be, well, let's see, Jeremy, and we have another one that's a local guy. Robert.
Yep.
It'll be like April or May.
Yeah.
Last year we started a lot earlier. Daniel did the Love Sucks ride. It was cold.
Yep. Brushy was cold.
Yeah, that was March. No, Brushy was May and it was cold.
Yeah, we got snowed on.
Maybe March we had to cancel. Either March or April. One of them we had to cancel because it was just pouring down rain the whole week.
Yeah, I think that was the March ride. It was just absolutely pouring.
Yeah. So we've got some stuff. One of the things I'm working on the details for it takes more than me just going, hey, this is where I'm riding to. The logistics of everything have to be worked out for timing and pricing and weather and, the financial obligation that the dealer comes with that, because I'm being paid to be there. Mm-hmm. They're paying for my fuel. Yeah. They're paying for my room. I know that might not sound like much, but think about how much it's going to cost you to go on a dealer ride. How much does it cost you for your fuel in your room?
Exactly.
Now I'm also going to pay you to be there. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I got excited there for a second. I know I'm not getting.
I'm not paying you for that. I pay you in free hugs.
Oh, yay!
But one of the places that I do want to get to go to this year, we want to go to the Biltmore.
Yep, I think that's going to be an exciting ride.
Yeah.
I think the route that we started to discuss going through Maggie.
Yep.
We've been to that area a few times. Beautiful roads.
Ride. And we know the area enough up there now between Maggie and Chattanooga.
Yeah.
That it's easily manageable. And I know that sounds crazy, but like we've had dealer rides that you would go, oh, that road's easily manageable. You get out there with a group and it's like, this was not the best road to bring.
Yeah, especially when we get the larger groups.
Yeah. So we know that ride is a fun ride. That ride will be an overnighter. I'll go ahead and put that out there.
Yep.
Also working on another overnight ride. Tried to do it last year in October. I think we're going to do it this year in October, but we're going to go up to Adams, Tennessee.
Okay.
And do the Bell Witch Cave. That's hopefully on the schedule this year.
Yep.
Sean asked me in November, he's like, why didn't you do that ride? I was like, I laid everything out because that's my job. I laid everything out about all those costs and those underlying details and everything. And he was like, okay, I get it. Also, I couldn't find anybody from Clarksville that would give a reputable answer for a hotel to stay at.
Please leave. Go away. Don't come here.
Yeah, that's pretty much the response I got. Yeah. Everybody was like, don't go to Clarksville. everybody in Clarksville was like, "Don't come here." Everybody that knows Clarksville is like, "Don't go."
Actually,
there.
we're trying to leave too.
So,
Do you have any housing
Could you
recommendations
tell me
down
where
in
to go?
Chattanooga?
So, but like that's the thing, dude. I mean, sometimes with these rides like that,
Yeah.
like the Maggie Valley ride,
Yeah.
I spent probably a solid day
Trying to find
on the computer trying to find a hotel that could potentially hold a large group of people at a decent price, because I'm not, the dealership might be willing to pay $250 a night for me to be
most
able to
people won't though.
Yeah, most people.
I'm not expecting. I live at a realistic expectation. I like for the Biltmore,
Yeah.
I will find a hotel that would be in a price range that I would be willing to pay for.
Yeah.
Because and I'm a tightwad, so if I'm willing to pay for it, most everybody else would be willing to pay for it too.
Correct. I do think we should take a trip back down to Barber.
I think we'll do Barber. So there's some stuff kind of West Tennessee area that I'm thinking about trying to get out that way.
Yeah.
If anybody kind of local to us goes, you know what, I've always wanted to ride to blank, send a message to the podcast. Like I said, I see all those messages, and I can put that into the possible rotation for places to go for the dealership. But we got some other things we're going to do that are dealer rides that I'm not going to ride on. We've got some fun stuff we're going to do this year too. Daniel's looking at me crazy.
I am confused.
Yes.
A dealer ride that you're not going to ride on.
Yep.
So
Now I'm confused.
yeah, please, you might need to elaborate on that.
It will be an unguided dealer ride.
Interesting.
Ah,
So
I think I know where that's going.
There's a story behind that.
Okay.
But anyways, and the last thing, which we've already mentioned several times, we want to hear from you.
Yeah. We want to get messages from you, like we were talking about earlier. Send us stories. Show us a picture of your motorcycle. Anything that you guys want us to discuss, or news that you heard that you care enough about us to listen to our opinion on.
Yeah, I mean, people that are in other parts of the country, there's motorcycle events and rallies and stuff that happen in your area. Maybe something. Maybe something's going on with those rallies. Maybe they're changing stuff. I mean, there's stuff always changing. There's dates always moving. I keep hearing rumors. I have not seen any confirmation. And I will state again, I keep hearing rumors that Panama City is their fall rally, looking at changing the dates, maybe moving it further back towards the beginning of October. It used to be more closer to the beginning.
Yeah.
And slowly over time, they've moved it to the end of October, basically. And I've heard rumors. I think you've heard those rumors. We've had people ask us if what we know about it, about them potentially moving it up. I think some of that might not be that they're actually moving it up. It's just the way that the calendar worked out, because they don't do it in ties to Halloween. They make sure people are not at the rally for Halloween.
Which makes sense.
So this past fall, it was like the middle of the month. And people were like, well, there's a whole week after that. Well, yeah, but if they'd done it that week, you would be coming back on Halloween.
Yeah.
And they're not going to do that because people have families, people have kids. People will go, I'm not going to go.
Yeah.
Because we're going to do family Halloween stuff. So, I mean, that's all I got. I know we haven't played Chop Ride Sale in a little while. We will play some Chop Ride Sale more. We're going to have more guests. We're going to get Teresa back on here some more. Field is back home, back working his regular job, his regular schedule, which is not very much of a regular schedule for most people because he is a firefighter, so his schedule is kind of all over the place. But we will be getting him back on the show and stuff like that. And we're going to work on getting the video processing available to be able to do casting with other types of people too.
Yep.
We're also going to work on some stuff for our Instagram, for the Daily Bikers Instagram, getting some stuff posted up there. I've had some people sending me messages. I actually had one send me a message the other day. I'll say this. I had one send me a message the other day. I won't say his name or who he works for. He works directly for a power sports manufacturer. And he just kind of sent me some tips on what to do with social media for the podcast page. Because I tend to focus a lot on the dealership social media.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is my job. So sometimes this social
Sometimes
media
you do
gets
have to
put on the
work.
back burner. So otherwise, it's 2023. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Hey everybody, this is Sean at White Lightning Harley Davidson. I want to thank you for listening to the Daily Biker Podcast. You can reach the podcast on Facebook or Instagram at The Daily Biker, or you can email the podcast at thedailybiker@gmail.com. Be sure to keep an eye on White Lightning Harley Davidson social media pages for the most up-to-date information on all our events and where you can find the boys.